Hello everyone, today is Sunday, May 29th, and today is just an introduction. What I mean by today's an introduction is that every one of us working on this project is doing an introduction video to introduce ourselves to you guys, whoever you are viewing. You may already know things about us, you may not. Either way, we're introducing ourselves to you so that you know a little bit more about us, or maybe you just learn the same things over again. Our videos in general throughout this project cannot be more than 4 minutes in length unless you're doing a song, which I am not doing for this video, so I am not going to go over 4 minutes. Fortunately for you, it won't even reach that long because I am not 4 minutes of interesting. Unfortunately for you, you might have to sit through a longer video than you would normally because we came up with 5 questions to make these videos more interesting. These questions are kind of just to give us a small thing to work with so that we have a little bit more to talk about, I guess, something like that. The first question is, what is the most ridiculous thing that has happened to you this summer? My answer to that would have to be that I got to operate heavy machinery and will be operating it for the rest of the summer for my job. It's not really ridiculous necessarily, but I think it's kind of cool, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. The second question is, which of the group would be the most likely to be killed by the others if we were all trapped on an island, and why? My answer to this question would have to be either Rob or Daniel. The reason why is because after a while we would probably get sick of their ridiculous opinions. Sorry guys. The third question is, what is the first thing you did when you got back to America? The reason that we have to answer this question is because we've been in Rome for a whole semester, and that was a pretty awesome experience, but the first thing I did when I got back to America is I got into the house, I opened up my backpack, and I went downstairs and I plugged in my laptop because I'm a nerd and I had to plug it in to make sure that it was plugged in, just so that it was. I'm not even kidding you. I had to go make sure it was plugged in so that it'd be ready for me whenever I needed to use it. That's just how it is. The fourth question is, what is something you would never name your children? There are a lot of things that I would never, ever, 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 ever in a million years, ever, never, ever name my children. Ever. However, for this question, I suppose we should limit it to a few things as opposed to naming off the gigantic list of names that I would never name my children. Let's just start with things like I would never name my child after a ridiculous cartoon character name, like Optimus Prime, no matter how awesome he is. Nor would I name my child Rodimus Prime, for those of you who understand that reference. I also wouldn't name my child after a video game character like Kratos. I would also never name my child after a fruit, most likely. I would never name my child Apple or Peach or something like that. I would probably also not name my child something like Sunburst. That's just a personal thing. I'd probably also not ever name my child a color, because I can't think of any good colors that I would have to name my child. Unless, of course, I was naming my child after the main character of Pokemon, Red and Blue, and then I might name him Red and Blue, and be like, you guys are rivals. Fight. Fifth question that we have to answer is, what kind of an animal would you be and why? And, of course, there are a lot of answers that you can give to this as well. The first answer that comes to mind is obviously honey badger. The second answer that comes to mind is the panda bear. The reason why is because the panda bear is the most notoriously well-known amazing fighter in the universe. In order to prove this, I'm going to cite obviously Kung Fu Panda, and then secondly I'm going to cite Tekken, where one of the characters is a panda bear. So obviously I would be the panda bear because I'm the best fighter in the universe. I will not be accepting challenges, that's just how it is, I'm sorry. Anyway, for a little bit of introduction about myself now. I'm 20 years old, I have brown hair, I have brown eyes, I wear glasses, I wear collared shirts very often. I'm an English major, I also want to go into law, I also want to go into computer science. I have a sword collection, this is one of many, that is one of many behind me on the wall. I also like to read, and I also like to write just a little bit. The last thing that I'd like to introduce about myself is that I like to do the word of the day every day. Today's word of the day is toothsome. It is an adjective, and it means pleasing to the taste or delicious. And that's that. So I will see you on Thursday.